me ask you a question. How is it possible that someone can move from their country to maybe the UK, to the US, to Canada, work 2 jobs, live there for 15, 20, 30 years, and still have no savings, no investments, and no financial peace? Because the truth is, most immigrants do not stay broke because they lack opportunity. They stay broke because no one taught them money rules in the new country. By the end of this video, I'll be breaking down the money mistakes immigrants make and what to do instead. Number 1, trying to look rich instead of actually becoming rich. You move abroad, now you're earning in dollars or pounds, and then you upgrade your car, you buy designer clothes, you rent an expensive house you cannot afford, or even buy a house you cannot afford. Yet, behind the scenes, there's no emergency funds, you're not saving anything, you're not investing anything, you're just there. Vibes, accumulating debt, and you're looking rich from a picture standpoint. I know someone who earns $65,000 a year and is financing a $45,000 car. Yeah. In my opinion, you don't need to prove you made it. The bank account just needs to prove it quietly. In this case, what to do instead, buy a reliable used car and make sure your housing costs are between 25 to 30% of your take-home pay. That is when you will have some balance, some room to cater for your investments, to cater for your savings, so that you're not living paycheck to paycheck. Number 2, paying others first, aka sending money back home. You know, when you come to these Western countries, there's a lot of expectation from your family back home. But what they do not know is the way of life here. People back home do not know that you have to fund your own retirement. The people back home do not know that you have bills on your neck. The people back home, even if they know, they really don't care, but you pay them first before you pay yourself. It is important that you get into the habit of paying yourself first. When you pay yourself first, at least you see the fruits of your labor. You get your money to also work for you. How do you pay yourself? By investing your money, at least 20%, any amount you can afford, even if it's 10%. The important thing is developing the habit. And once you've developed the habit, it's easier for you, even with as time goes on, to increase the amounts or diversify your investments. Because let's be honest, your family back home will not be there when you have a financial disaster. They will not be there when credit card companies are sending you letters in red. They'll not be there when you're late on your mortgage payments. They'll not be there when you're 72 and you're still working because you can't afford to retire. I'm not saying don't help your family members. You can help them, but have a plan for it. Don't just receive a phone call and you send money. Receive a phone call and you send money. Make a plan on how you're going to do it so that it's helping both of you, not just them. Because guess what? Helping from strength creates sustainability, but helping from resentment creates stress and resentment. Number 3, not understanding the credit system. And I was a victim of this one. When I just come here, I knew credit cards were there. I saw them, I saw people using them, but I feared using them because I didn't want to get into debt. But time reached, and like I was about to buy a property, and they were like, you need credit. You don't have a credit history. In Canada or the US, your credit score is your financial power. So you need to start building your credit score the moment you land in your new country. Many immigrants see credit score in 2 different extremes. The first extreme is credit is bad. I do not want anything to do with it. And that was me. I knew credit was bad. I didn't want anything with debt. I knew I wanted to live within my means. I actually didn't want to live within my means. I wanted to live below my means. So I knew I was not going to use credit for anything. So I felt like I didn't need it. Until a time came and I needed to buy a property, and they said one of the requirements is a credit score. So I had to start building one, which was a bit late. It was like 3 years in. The other extreme is credit card money is free money. Yes, some immigrants think credit card money is free money. It's not free money. So as you're using it, use it on purchases you would have actually made if you didn't have that money. And I would advise, if you don't have the money in your bank account to pay it off like every month, don't use it because you don't really need it. So when you get a credit card, don't spend like the government. No, use it for purchases that you actually would have made even if you didn't have it, and pay it off every month. That is how you build a credit score. Both extremes are dangerous because you will stay broke. Because if you fear credit, you will not invest. If you see it as free money, you will be in debt forever. So it's all not good. So learn how the credit system works and take advantage of it. You can do this instead. Get a credit card, use it. Don't use more than 30% of the amount on your credit card, and then pay it off every month. And if you know you don't have the money to pay it off every month in your bank account, don't use it. Now, the next one is a bit sticky, but let me say it. Number 4, staying in low-paying jobs. I understand immigrants, when you come, you want survival, but you cannot survive for 5 years. No. You need to pivot. You need to go in that survival job when you've just come 1 to 3 years, but when you're there 5, 7, 10, 11 years, no, it's no longer survival. It's now something you've chosen. Remember, your income is your biggest wealth building tool. So the more income you have, the more chances of you building wealth. So if you're in a minimum wage job for 10 years, like, your chances of building wealth are limited. So go in your survival job, work there, go back to school, get a better paying job. For example, an immigrant engineer who works in the warehouse for 8 years because they don't want to get recertification on their documents because it feels stressful. And then there is another immigrant engineer who studies for 2 years and gets certified and then doubles their income. Fear can cost you thousands of dollars along the way. So if you can, go back to school and get a better paying job. Yes, you may need to improve your English, you may need new certifications, you may need to take a course, you may need to start from scratch even. But staying in low-paying jobs is actually expensive in the long run. You didn't cross the ocean to come and be stuck. No, you came because of opportunity. Take the opportunity. 5, delaying to invest. You know, as immigrants, we come from countries where systems are not really well set. And because of that, some of us have a lot of fear based on where we grew up about some things. I would say educate yourself first and then start from there. For example, many immigrants come from countries where the stock market is not trusted, where the pension system is failed or full of fraud. So investing to them feels like gambling. So they just save money in the bank. But in countries like the US or Canada or the UK, these Western countries, there's powerful investing tools available and their systems work. They're not like ours. So you can be sure that your money is safe. In Canada, we have the TFSA, the RRSP, and some people have the employer match. So you should find out at your workplace if you have the employer match. And if you have it, please jump on it. That's basically free money. So jump on it and get the employer match. If you don't contribute to the employer match, you're basically rejecting free money. And if you want me to give you a detailed video about how the TFSA works or about how the RRSP works, let me know in the comments. Comment RRSP or TFSA and I will make a video about it. Let's say you invest $400 a month from age 25. With years of compound interest, that money can be a significant amount years later. But if you wait until you're 45, you may need to invest double to catch up. So that's why starting early is important. Start early, start small. Even $100 a month is good enough as long as you start. So if you're an immigrant and you're in a new country, start investing. As long as you're earning an income, you should be investing. If you want me to talk about investing, comment down below investing and I will do a video about it. Mistake number 6, not understanding the tax system in your new country. Now, as an economist, I feel like I need to say something about this because people are leaving money on the table because they don't know how the tax system works in the country they are in. And that's not nice because other people are taking advantage and you're there working your 2 jobs and thinking you're working so hard. No, people are working smart. So you need to know how the tax system in your country works. If you're in Canada and you have any tax questions, you can comment them down below and I will be able to respond to all of them. If you don't know how taxes work in your new country, you're possibly losing thousands of dollars every year without you even realizing it. And for immigrants, this mistake is extremely common because tax systems in these countries are very different from the countries they come from. And maybe where you come from, you've never had to file a return. You don't even do anything. Your employer does everything. But here you have to do most of the things yourself. So you have to know what to do. And it can be sometimes overwhelming, but that shouldn't stop you from doing what you're supposed to do. Taxes are complex, and misunderstanding them can keep you broke. So it is important that as an immigrant, you educate yourself about the tax system of the country you're living in. Know what are the tax brackets. Know what are the tax advantaged accounts in this country. How can I protect my money? How can I not let the tax company take all my money? There are ways you can do that, but you have to know how the taxes work. So you need to educate yourself. That's why you find people confusing a tax refund as free money. Tax refund is not free money. Tax refund is money you actually overpaid to the government and has been seated in the government account for a whole year. So it is not free money, it is your money. Most immigrants don't understand tax brackets. It is your role as an employee to know which tax bracket you are in. How is your money being taxed? Which deductions are they taking off? You need to know, because when you know, you make better decisions. Some people will decline a promotion or a pay rise because they don't want to be in a different tax bracket. Before you reject that offer, you need to know, how is the tax system here? Is it a progressive tax system, or is it some other tax system? If it is some other one, which one is it actually? Like, learn about the tax systems in your country. Number 7, not having a long-term plan. Yes, you know, when you're an immigrant and you've just arrived, the keyword is survival. But after you've survived, you need to know, what is the plan now? Now that I have where to live, now that I have a career, what is the plan? Are you going to buy an investment? Are you going to go back to school? When do you want to retire? What type of lifestyle do you want to live long term? Or do I want to live long term? What is my 10-year financial plan? Like, what do I envision in my future financially? Do I want to start a business? You know, those are the questions you ask yourself, and they give you proper direction of where you're going. Because once you answer them, then you know how to act backwards. Because if you have to start a business, you need to brainstorm your idea. If you want to retire at 55, you need to invest more now, when you're 20, when you're 30. You get the gist of it. I'll give you an example. 2 immigrants, same income. One plans to invest monthly, buys property in 5 years, builds a side income. And the other spends everything and figures it out later. 10 years later, their lives will look completely different. So, planning changes the outcome. Once you've settled in, plan your life. Number 8, lifestyle inflation. You get a rise, instead of investing the difference, you improve your lifestyle. You buy a nicer car, you rent an expensive apartment, you get maybe a better house. Someone's salary increases by 20K per year, and then the expenses go up by 18,000 per year. Instead of investing that 18,000 difference so that your money gets to work for you, you blow it on purchases. If you want to build wealth and keep money in your pocket, you have to avoid lifestyle creep. That is how stability is built. The rule of thumb here is that if your income increases, maintain your previous lifestyle. Increase your investments. Your 10-year self will thank you later. The gap between your income and the lifestyle is where your wealth lives. So do you want a wide gap or a small gap? That one, you decide for yourself. So which of these mistakes have you made yourself? Drop a comment working on it if you're improving your financial health. And let me tell you something powerful. Immigrants have an advantage because guess what? You've already shown that you can take risks. You've already crossed the ocean. You don't have to fix everything in 1 year, but you need to have a plan. Start with a $1,000 emergency fund if you don't have it. One investment account. Learn one skill that increases your income. And have one honest conversation about money with yourself. 5 years of discipline can change your entire life. Guys, you didn't cross the ocean to stay broke. You came for opportunity. Now it's your turn to build wealth on purpose. If this video helped you, like it so that more immigrants can see it. And please subscribe to my channel. See you soon in my next video. Bye.